Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fun and awesome episode of Youth Connect. I'm Aiden.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Logan.
I'm Jeffrey.
And we got Nibras, and welcome to our Youth Connect. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode. I hope you're excited. It's going to be a lot of fun today. Happy early Easter. For those who don't know, Youth Connect is a news, interest, entertainment show that is more than just sharing stories. We are working at creating a platform of inclusion and acceptance, one episode at a time. On top of that, we are all advocates for all abilities, and as broadcasters and entertainers, we want to be included in opportunities for acting jobs, directing, writing, chefs, speakers, artists, and musicians. You know what we always say, if you name it, we want to do it. And we have an awesome show for you guys today. I know that it's going to be a show that you are going to absolutely love. And before I start off, before we get into the first news, I actually want to talk about if everybody is ready for the show. So Kevin and Nibras and Logan and Jeff, are you guys ready for an awesome episode of?
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So the first thing that we always have to do is some gaming news to warm us up. Hello and welcome to Gaming News. You just saw me before and now I'm over here. Okay, so what's going to be going on with some interesting gaming news? Next up, first, we're going to be doing our Game of the Week. What is Game of the Week? Well, Game of the Week is either a game that I'm going to be showing you that has either come out recently, that is coming out soon, or an old classic. And today is a game that actually has been popping up on my feed every once in a while because it's apparently a very interesting indie game. And today's Game of the Week is Pepper Grinder. So, no, you are not a pepper shaker, and no, you are not a salt shaker. Pepper Grinder is an action-packed pirate adventure starring the titular Pepper, a seafaring soul with a passion for prospecting and grinding. Grinder, her super-powered drilling device. Shipwrecked and robbed of her treasure, Pepper must spin up her trusty sidearm to reclaim what the mischievous Gnarling stole. Armed with Grinder, Pepper burrows through terrain and water, controls machines, and pulverizes all enemies blocking the way towards recovering her missing fortune with interest. So Pepper's progress will not be simple, however, as mysterious beings begin to emerge from the shadows. So this interesting game is actually about if you guys know, a few years back when Flash games were prominent, there was this game called Land Shark. You could dig underground and then pop out. And this game is almost exactly like it. You have to dig through the ground, and it's sort of like a side-scrolling platformer, plus a mixture of this digging where you have to dig through the ground, and also a mixture of boss battles. So it's sort of like if Mario and the Flash game Land Shark came into one game. So you'll cruise through a colorfully animated world with precise movements, fluid drilling, and thrilling leaps. And compared to other games, the reviews from fans are very, very high. Surprising, because fans are usually very, very, very stern on the way that they like their mods. And I know for a fact that for video game standards, especially video games like this, having a 9 out of 10 review from 10,000 reviews, 9 out of 10 rating is really good. So with this game, you're going to be doing a lot of things. As being a pirate, you're going to be collecting your treasure, and you're going to be upgrading yourself with power-ups and even collecting collectible stickers for your sticker book in the game of Pepper Grinder. So now we've learned that Pepper is the person and Grinder is her sidearm. So the game's called Pepper Grinder. I think this game looks absolutely brilliant, and if I had the money, I would definitely buy this game because this game looks like a lot of fun. A cool indie game. A lot of people are saying it's really good, guys. So I recommend that you check it out. But other than that, next up, we're going to be bringing somebody. Who is it? I think next up is Kevin with some all-important news, and I just cannot wait to hear the interesting fact that's going to be shared today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Youth Connect News, where I bring you news, sports, weather, and interesting fact. I'm your host, Kevin Aruja, so let's get right into the headlines. Ontario says it will raise minimum wage later this year. The Art Gallery of Ontario closed as 400 plus workers on strike. Ontario to allocate international student permits to in-demand programs. And least but not least, Lionel Messi says he hasn't yet thought about when he will retire. The Ford government says it will be raising Ontario's minimum wage by 65 cents in the fall. Starting on October 1st, the minimum pay in the province will be 17 point per hour, up from a current minimum wage of $55. The province says in a release on Thursday that the 3.9% annualized wage increase is based on the Ontario Consumer Price Index and brings Ontario's minimum wage to the second highest in Canada. The increase comes amid an affordability crisis in the province. Minister of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development David Bikini says in the release that the move will help close to 1 million Ontarians each more. There were 935,600 workers earning at or below $17.20 per hour in 2023, most of them in retail and accommodation and food services, according to the government. The Ontario's announcement about a bump to its minimum wage comes just days before the federal minimum wage is set to go up by 65 cents to $17.30 per hour. The move affects workers in federally regulated industries. A report released by the Ontario Living Wage Network in November pegged the minimum living wage. A worker living in the GTA needs to cover their expenses at $25.05 per hour. Sorry about that. More than 408 Art Gallery of Ontario employees are on strike after union members voted to reject the museum's latest contract offer. The Ontario Public Service Employees Union said in a statement that the offer failed to address key issues such as wage increases, protections for part-time workers, and contracting out positions. The AGO's website said the institution was closed on Tuesday due to the labor disruption, and the management remains hopeful it will reach a negotiated agreement with the OPSEU soon. Striking employees are a member of OPSEU Local 535, and they include assistant curators, archivists, food and hospitality staff, researchers, instructors, carpenters, electricians, and visitor service staff, among others. The union accused the AGO of shortchanging long-term loyal staff with an offer that does not reflect contemporary wages after 10 months of bargaining. The union has previously said that part-time employees make up more than 60% of the AGO's workforce, and they earn average as a $34,380 per year. Ayers said on Tuesday that the public service employee were hit right in the paycheck during the COVID-19 pandemic, and 3 years of wage restraint imposed by the now appealed Bill 124, which had capped salary increases for the broader public sector workers at 1% a year. The Ontario will prioritize its newly reduced number of international undergraduate student study permits to post-secondary institutions that offer in-demand programs such as the skilled trades, childcare, and healthcare, the province said on Wednesday. The federal government announced earlier this year it will slash the number of international student permits it will hand out, with Ontario seeing its allotment cut in half. Nearly all of permits will go to publicly assisted colleges and universities, with the private career colleges receiving none. On a post-secondary institutions, especially colleges, in the province turned increasingly to international students after Premier Doug Ford's government cut tuition by 10% in 2019, and it froze it there. The last month, colleges and universities Minister Jill Dunlop gave a $1.3 billion funding lifeline to post-secondary institutions, but the colleges and universities said that they needed double that amount. Many post-secondary institutions are running deficits this year. The province said 22 of 23 universities will keep study permit applications at 2023 levels, but fewer will be allocated to Algoma University, and 11 of 24 colleges will keep the allotment of applications in the 2023 level. Conestoga colleges and colleges with public-private partnerships will see the largest decline. The Colleges Ontario CEO Margareta Evans said colleges are pleased their institutions to receive the bulk of their international study permit applications, but they are still left in a lurch. In sports news, an adage that appears to ring true for soccer star Lionel Messi. In an interview with a big time podcast released on Wednesday, the 36-year-old Messi revealed that he doesn't see his advancing years as an important factor in determining when to end his career. He also said that he hasn't considered when he might call time on his playing days, during which he has won the World Cup with Argentina, 10 La Liga and 4 Champions League titles with Barcelona, and 8 Ballon d'Or awards. These days, it's not unusual for athletes to continue their careers into the late 30s and beyond, with Messi's longtime rival Cristiano Ronaldo still playing and scoring goals aplenty for Portugal and Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr at the age of 39. Messi joined MLS side Inter Miami last year, and he won the League's Cup, the first title in his new club history. In August, the team is currently second in the Eastern Conference, having played 6 games this season. Asked about what will factor into his decisions to retire, Messi said, "The moment that I am not at the level to deliver, that I'm not enjoying it, and I'm not helping my teammates." Messi missed Argentina's recent friendlies against El Salvador and Costa Rica due to the hamstring injury. It's unclear whether he will play a part in Inter Miami's upcoming MLS game against New York City on Saturday. Into this weather forecast, we've got a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon. The temperature is now 7 degrees. And tomorrow we will get another mix of sun and clouds. The temperature will be, same thing, 7 degrees. For now, for the topic, for an interesting fact of the week, we're going to talk about solar eclipse. So what is like solar eclipse? It's an eclipse. Solar eclipse is an astronomical event. It is a process that develops slowly across time. The eclipse is when one object in the sky moves into the shadows of another such object. When an eclipse happens within the system of stars, like the solar system, it makes a type of synergy. This means that 3 or more objects in the sky are lined up in a straight line in the same gravitational system. The term eclipse is most often used to describe a solar eclipse. When the moon's shadow crosses the Earth's surface, or lunar eclipse, when the moon's moved into the shadow of Earth. No solar eclipse can last longer than 7 minutes and 58 seconds because of the speed at which the Earth and moon move. When the sun is not involved, the event is called occultation. So let's get into the 8 facts about the solar eclipse. The cycle of eclipse repeats every 18.6 years, called the Saros. The lunar eclipses are visible over an entire hemisphere. The lunar eclipse can occur up to 3 times a year. A solar eclipse always occurs 2 weeks before or after a lunar eclipse. The Toronto eclipse can only occur during a full moon. The eclipse very often occur in 3 alternating lunar, solar, and lunar. Solar eclipse can occur at least 2 or no more than 5 times a year. The eclipse shadow moves at 2,000 miles per hour at the Earth's pole and 1,000 miles per hour as the Earth's equator. We have come to the end of my segment. Tune in for next week's news, weather, and a very interesting fact. I'm sending it back to Aiden. Have a great weekend.
You know what, guys? We are going to be graciously given the opportunity to see a solar eclipse on the April 8th. I'm so excited for it. Kevin, are you excited for the solar eclipse? It will be only one time until it will be, I'm pretty sure, until 2044.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. for Eclipse.
So, guys, remember, if you have time on April the 8th, actually, guys, when April the 8th happens, everything's going to go pitch dark for 8 minutes. How exciting is that? And then we will only be able to see the next solar eclipse until next year. Oh. So if you have the time, make sure to check it out because you're gonna. Oh, sorry, actually, I'm lying. Technically, the next solar eclipse is only until 2044. So that is going to be in another 20 years. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to wait 20 years for another solar eclipse. Technically, I'm 20 right now, so that means I guess I missed my first solar eclipse 20 years ago. But I'm excited for it. I will say, Logan, and for you, Nibras, are you guys excited for the solar eclipse? Are you going to be scared that when it turns to night?
I don't even know if I'll
I'm
notice
not
it.
gonna be
I don't know a lot about it. But
here, but I loved Kevin's background. Very dark and the yellow circle, really, really nice. I love the background.
yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
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 Thanks.
Solar eclipses are truly very pretty. All right. Thank you so much, Kevin, for your news. All right. Time to move on to our second news. I hope you guys are excited for this one. So I actually want to talk about something that I actually talked about during the very start of Youth Connect. So if you guys know, I talked about this amazing little amazing little gaming device called the Playdate, a small hand-crankable gaming console that you could take on the go and, play wherever you want. But it was hand-powered, so you power it yourself. Interestingly enough, Cable Sasser, co-founder of the company behind this whimsical yellow gaming device, was giving a talk on the crank sporting device at the Games Developer Conference when he provided a noteworthy factoid. So apparently, $400,000 worth of Playdates curiously went missing at a shipping factory in Las Vegas. How interesting is that? Where did it go? So apparently, people are saying this is a video game heist. So as first reported, by GameFile, Sasser was checking in on the Playdate's inventory numbers at a shipping center in Las Vegas when he noticed that the numbers weren't quite adding up. Upon further investigation, he resolved that about 2 pallets containing Playdate systems had gone missing. So scaringly enough, and if you guys remember, it not only is this game, you can hand power it, but some of the games actually use the hand crank to play the games. Like if you were cranking a lever in a video game to turn a platformer, you would need to use the lever on the side. So when Sasser brought his concerns to the shipping center, they told him that FedEx claimed that they were delivered, but we have no trace of them. And to throw another wrench in things, as they say, a few weeks later, another set of pallets, which let me remind you, just so you guys know, pallets means like a shipment of Playdate consoles, was wound up being delivered to the construction site of a Circle K next door to the shipping center. Hilariously, Sasser then showed the crowd a picture of the pallets just sitting out in the open before the shipping center presumably sent someone over to retrieve them. Curiously, Sasser noted that he was told that the same person who seemed to sign off on the missing pallets also signed off on the one that were found at the construction site. So there's a lot of research going on right now, Sasser joked. Despite the setbacks, Totilo claimed that Sasser told the story as well as others in good spirits. You know what? As a small little company creating such an innovative device, it's not out yet, guys. We're still waiting for it. But the fact that he kept such good spirits, even though $400,000 worth of consoles were missing, keeping a good spirit is very hard sometimes. So honestly, I'm going to give him 2 thumbs up from me because it takes a lot of effort to keep a smile up, especially when things are going south. So the heist is just the latest development in the story of the little handheld that could. You know that reference, guys? I did a little funny reference. I won't spoil it, but if you guys know the reference, maybe comment down below the reference. The Playdate, which is derived by many for its size and crank, has come a long way since its early issues. Remember the first time I talked about it, and even has a pretty robust library these days. Elsewhere in Totila's reports, that's revealed that the system wasn't profitable yet, but that making it so was Panic's primary goal for the year. And here's hoping, guys, that they keep their hopefully these mysterious robberies don't continue happening, and hopefully doesn't stand in the way of their goal in the near future. I'm really excited to see the Playdate, and if it does go on shelves, I'm going to be buying one. Absolutely. Okay, so if you guys like that news, make sure to tell me, because I absolutely love talking about it because it's so interesting to talk about it. Anyways, though, next up, we got another person. Who is this interesting person with this interesting news? Next up, we have Nibras with some entertainment and podcast news.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys today? My name is Nibras Khan, and I'm news for the entertainment news. Let's get straight into our top three. And our top three is about this one. I like this top three. So now, a new update for Pirates of the Caribbean 6 reveals that it is rebooting the franchise. Yes, the series originally began in 2003 with Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl, with Johnny Depp leading the cast as the iconic Captain Jack Sparrow. Since then, there have been 5 films in total, with the series getting its most recent installment in 2017 with Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales. Pirates of the Caribbean 6 has been announced, but does not yet have a release date. Speaking with comicbook.com, producer Jerry Buckingham gave an update on Pirates of the Caribbean 6. He stated that Pirates of the Caribbean will be an akin to a franchise reboot rather than a direct sequel to Dead Men Tell No Tales. As one reason for his choice, Buckingham cited that it is easier because you don't have to wait for certain actors. You're going to reboot Pirates, that it is easier to put together a group because you don't have to wait for certain actors. The biggest change between 2017 and now is in the perception of depth. The Jack Sparrow actor led the first 5 films in the Pirates of the Caribbean series. He is also one of the few actors from the original cast who's appeared in all 5 installments. Depth is the part what gave the franchise life. Yes, I agree with that. Playing the pirate role with charisma and mastering the role. While he was originally supposed to appear in Pirates of the Caribbean 6, Depp stated he was not interested returning ahead of the case. He cited that his relationship with Disney was strained after they tried to cut ties to be safe. Despite the producer's support, Depp's return to Pirates of the Caribbean 6 has not been confirmed. Also, given Depp's condition, this could be what Buccaneer is referring to, what he talks about, what he means waiting for certain actors. Opting for a reboot will likely make Pirates of the Caribbean 6 happen faster and sooner. But it seems to put a nail in the coffin for Depp's return. So now let me know, will Johnny Depp return for Pirates of the Caribbean 6? You'll have to find out. So I do think he has to return. I love him. I love all 5 films. First one I love the most is the first one. I love the first one. It's amazing. So I do think he should return. Comment down below what you think. Now to the fact of the day. Now before I go to my fact of the day, I'll let you know my second story. Now my second story is a podcast. Now the podcast name is, did you see what I did there? Let's change it a bit. So the podcast is The Atlas. The Atlas Podcast. The Atlas Podcast, an audio guide to the world's strange and incredible, wondrous places. Co-founder Dylan Turris and a neighbor of Atlas reporters explore a new wonder every day, Monday through Thursday, under 15 minutes. They'll take you to an incredible place. Along the way, you'll meet some fascinating people and hear their stories. So I love this podcast. So the name is the At This Podcast. What it is the host just takes you to places, tells about the facts of the place, like what goes on, what the favorite food is, like travel. It's a travel podcast, right? It's like you're traveling, right? I love this podcast. Coming down below if you're gonna listen to this podcast. Now to my fact of the day. Now my fact of the day is drum roll, please. Did you guys know the original Monopoly pieces were inspired by bracelets? Yes, that's true. The classic Monopoly game pieces we know today were inspired by objects from a charm bracelet belonging to the game's original designer's niece. Yes, that's true. The idea was introduced playful, distinctive game pieces, and thus the top hat, the card, the rollerblade, and the timbo and other iconic tokens found their way onto the board. Can you believe that fact? I did not know this. Imagine just a charm bracelet, and then he saw that and just put the pieces in the game. Like, that's amazing. I love this fact. And comment down below, what's your favorite piece? My favorite piece is the card. Actually, I love the card. Whenever I'm playing Monopoly, I'm always choosing the card. And that's all from me. As always, this is Nibras Khan from Youth Connect. I'll see you on top. I'll see you. That's all from me. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye then.
Okay, so two things, Nibras. So let me just remind myself, the podcast is called the Atlas Podcast or the Atlas Obscura Podcast. It's okay. I think he's having a little bit of lag issues. Don't worry, guys. I think it's the Atlas Obscura because he said he said a celebration of the world's strange and wondrous places. That is what Atlas Obscura podcast is all about. And you know what, guys? To be honest with you, I don't think that I could watch Pirates of the Caribbean reboot because it's a reboot. I don't think I could watch the reboot without Johnny Depp. Do I think that there should be a reboot? To be honest with you, I don't think that there needs to be. It is an old classic. It's so awesome. But listen, if they don't have Johnny Depp or he doesn't want to do it anymore, I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. So I will keep an open mind and I won't be stubborn. Even if we don't get Johnny Depp, I will be okay with what is created. Anyways, you know what time it is. It's time for some community news. So guys, last week, our community had a blast celebrating inclusivity. Our Super Ability crew enjoyed a fun art week with art, music, science, and more. And today, we wrapped up a fun family trivia challenge that had everyone laughing while answering questions. And let me just say, guys, it was a super tough challenge. I was literally neck to neck with my sister and my friends. It was a lot of fun. And we also marked that Epilepsy Awareness Day was on March the 26th, and looking forward to celebrating autism starting April 2nd. You know, together, we're building a more inclusive future. That's what we do here at Super Ability Crew, but also what we do here at Youth Connect. We're here to connect communities together and become more inclusive. So, I hope that you enjoyed your community news. I will have more community news next week. Oh, I also have some information to share with you. Oh, yeah, I'll share with you guys it at the end. But next up, we're going to be having Logan, and Logan's going to be sharing with us some cooking knowledge that he has to share with us today.
Hello, Youth Connect. I am Logan. Now, tell me, everybody. Well, don't tell me, but I'll just ask the question anyway. Have you ever looked at a fast food commercial, whether it's on TV, on a billboard, in the little coupon voucher thing, and you see a picture that looks something like this? A big, juicy, plump burger you can see here, it's in perfect layers, this Big Mac. A nice round, soft looking bun. And then you go to the McDonald's and you order your Big Mac, and it comes out looking like this. Completely smushed buns. Everything is not properly layered. Let's go and look at another example here. Take a look at this. The layer, folks. Take a look at this. This is a Whopper, and you can see that it also looks perfectly delectable. Nice round top bun, very colorful looking lettuce and tomatoes, and then when you order it, it looks like this. And you're probably wondering why. Why is this happening? Well, to answer that, the answer is food stylists. Food stylists are the one at fault. But you can't really blame them. They are a pretty interesting profession. Now, today's topic will be all about these food stylists. Now, when going over what a food stylist's role to do, it is to prepare and present food for various types of media. This type of media includes stuff like photography, films, television, commercials, and other forms of advertising. And it is the goal of these food stylists to make the food look just as appealing and enticing to the customers as possible, so that you buy it and then you eventually get this instead. So there are a bunch of different types of food stylists that all specialize in different types of fields in media. We have what I demonstrated before, commercial food stylists who work on stuff like advertisements online, print, or television for various different food-based companies like fast food joints. There are also editorial food stylists who create food pictures for magazines, newspapers, or cookbooks. After that, we also have film food stylists, which create food for television shows and movies. Product packaging stylists, that one's pretty simple. They stylize food to be used as pictures for product packaging, as well as menu stylists, who stylize food for pictures on menus. Now, these food stylists use a lot of very interesting tricks to make the food look as fresh and as delectable as possible to the human eye. And I'll go through a few examples of these tricks. One of them is to use special solutions that make the food look fresh. You know how it is. Sometimes, like, the food could be sitting out for a very long time and it starts to go a little unappetizing. They'll use special solutions, stuff like these. They'll be able to keep the food looking fresher for longer. Another example that they might use is actually using stuff like pins or sticky tacks in food to help hold them in place for photo shoots. Take an example like these strawberries here. You can see that they're being held up by little globules of sticky tack. There's probably also pins in that sticky tack that's going into the strawberries, holding them up in place. And yeah, of course, the camera that's right behind it is what's taking the picture, and it will obscure these things from the vision. Another example, this is a pretty big one, painting meat. Some people will paint meat with like a special like brown solution that makes it look even more juicy and browner than it is in reality. Other examples, using fake ice. This is a pretty big one. You ever see any of those commercials on TV for like Coca-Cola or Budweiser, and they're showing a bunch of cans of cola or bottles of beer inside a cooler full of ice, and it looks so refreshing. Well, ice melts, so you don't want to replace it all too much, so they use fake ice that is most likely made of stuff like glass or resin. That'll keep it from melting and keep the shot looking as great as possible. But along with that fake ice, you're probably wondering, well, fake ice doesn't produce condensation on the on like the beer cans or the beer bottles. And so for that, they also use fake condensation, just giving it a nice spray of water on, say, the surface of the can, and that will make it look nice and dewy and irresistibly refreshing. Now take a look at this picture of cereal. Just look at how this milk splashes out, and just look how delectable that milk is. It's nice and white and very creamy looking. Well, what if I told you that's probably not even milk? For most shots of milk in commercials, like this cereal picture, they're most likely actually using glue. So, yeah, yuck. Imagine eating glue cereal. So yeah, these sort of tricks often mean that the food that they use to style for these pictures is very often completely inedible. But hey, that's kind of the purpose. You're not supposed to be eating those pictures. You're supposed to be looking at them and thinking, hey, I should really buy this product. Now give the food stylist a credit where credit's due. It is a very difficult job. Food styling requires a combination of stuff like culinary skills, artistic flair, as well as keen knowledge on how certain foods behave to stuff like different lightings and different camera angles. Food stylists will often coordinate their work with photographers and their clients in order to make the food look as good as possible for the piece of media. So anyway, that just about does it for my little lesson today on my crash course on food stylism. Thank you all for tuning in, and back to you, Aiden.
So, actually, Logan, I have heard about the expectation versus reality. If you've ever checked Reddit before, I know. I'm referencing Reddit right now. But there is an entire subreddit called expectation versus reality. But I also want to talk about how artists, they hire artists to create those perfect images of the perfect food, or they hire photographers. So honestly, I absolutely love it for the fact that you can get a job opportunity for taking photos for companies or making commercials for companies. That allows you to kind of broaden your perspective here. So I do get it. I really do think that if you are taking a picture and you took a picture of it like that, it should stay like that. Because honestly, I don't want a burger like if it has like a delicious piece of lettuce and all I get is some flabby green. It doesn't look like lettuce, some green thing on my burger. You know, that's not what I got. That's not what I saw in the thing. That's why sometimes if you see restaurant burgers pretty much look like the picture that is shown. So I feel like fast foods, sometimes they have bad days, sometimes they have good days. It just depends. But thank you so much, Logan. We learned a little bit more about expectation versus reality. We learned about the kind of like just like the imagery relating to food. So thank you so much, Logan. Anyways, though, I'm going to keep the train moving because we are on to our next person. Which is
Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? I'm Jeffrey, and it's that time again to bring you some music, to bring you some love, joy with myself, Jeffrey, your live musician. And I hope you're ready to take a long hike with this song. Hope you're ready to walk 500 miles by the Proclaimers. Here we are. When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the one who wakes up next to you. If I go out, yes, I know I'm gonna be the one who goes along with you. If I get drunk, yes, I know I'm gonna be the one who gets drunk next to you. If I haver, yes, I know I'm gonna be the one who's savoring to you. But I will walk 500 miles and I will walk 500 miles just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles in the world. When I'm London, yes, I know I'm go up, when I go up, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who goes along with you. When I come home, yes I know I'm gonna be the one that comes and talks to you. But I will walk 500 miles and I will walk 500 miles just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles and walked at your door. I'm working, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who's working without you. When I'm dreaming, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who's working without you. When I go, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who goes along with you. If I go, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who goes along with you. But I will walk 500 miles and I will walk 500 miles just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles and walked at your door. When I'm lonely, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who's lonely without you. When I'm coming to you, when I come home, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who comes right from you. When I go up, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who goes around with you. When I'm dreaming, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who shines around with you. But I will walk 500 miles and I will walk 500 miles just to be the one who walks 1,000 miles and walks at your door. When I wake up, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who wakes up next to you. If I go up, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who goes along with you. If I get drunk, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who gets that with you. If I hate her, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who takes her with you. When I go up, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who goes along with you. When I come home, yes I know I'm gonna be the one who comes with you. Gonna be the one who's coming home to you. But I will walk 500 miles and I will walk 500 miles just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles and walked at your door. everybody. This is Jeffrey, your live musician. Make sure to check out my website, jeffreckman.com. Anyways, it's back to Aiden. Bye, everybody. Happy Easter.
Okay, so from what I learned, Jeffrey will walk 500 miles and he will walk 500 more. Thank you so much, Jeff. You know, your live music is always awesome, and it's always great to have a little bit of music at the end of our show. I absolutely love today, and if you liked today's Youth Connect, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And don't forget to click the notification
Other
bell.
than that, guys, I really hope that you had an awesome episode today. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and we will technically see you all next time. All right, guys, catch you later, and have an awesome weekend.